Yeah, it's interesting. I never really think of them as superhero movies, as you know. And being asked this question over over time, you make me think about the fact that, oh yeah, I never thought of it as a superhero movie. Like when I look at Spider-Man, like I think it's a Peter Parker movie, and it's about this kid, and that's always what I'm focusing on is him and his emotions and what is going on in his life and what is it that he's struggling with. What is he missing? He just wants to fall in love. He just wants to get through high school. He just wants to make friends. He doesn't want to make waves, and yet he's also saddled with all of this other responsibility. None of us can really relate to the idea of being Spider-Man. We can't, because as much as I'd love to be Spider-Man,
right,
I really don't know what that is like, but I can absolutely relate to what it's like being in high school, being in these situations where you're someone you like and you want to tell them and you don't know how to tell them, or you're afraid that are they going to. All of those are the things that I really zero in on when I'm working on a film, whether it's Star Trek, whether it's Ratatouille, whether it's The Incredibles. I'm like always going for, well, what is that emotion that is at the center of all of this, and how do I tap into that? Because I feel like that's what I relate to in these movies, and I feel like as an audience member, that's what we all relate to, are those real things. And then the big stuff is the big stuff, and it's just the fun sort of spectacle side of it. But as long as we can latch into what makes these characters work emotionally, it makes the bigger stuff even more fun, and it's like a release, as opposed to if we treat everything like it's a superhero thing, then it's like, then nothing is a superhero thing. It's like in The Incredibles when they're like, well, if everyone's special, then no one's special, And so it's about creating a dynamic that can ebb and flow and go up and down and when we need it to.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you, because when you look at the range of projects you do, you have all these different ranges of projects. I was going to ask you, what's the difference between them, but it seems like you're cutting down to the core emotions.
Yeah.
We see the characters in there, and so it's like, even though they span different genres, you're finding that core in there. Because you got Star Trek, you got Star Wars, you have animated films, you have live action superhero films.
Yeah.
They're all over the place here, but there's always this connecting tissue of your music always gets to the core of the character.
Yeah, I shoot to go right for the emotional heart of the story always, because I know that's what attracts me to the story. That's what attracts me to these projects when I'm asked to work on them. And if I don't have that, if I can't connect in that way, then I won't do the movie, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like, well, this is a scary scene, so now I just got to write scary music, or this is a love scene, so I got to write love. I need to know I can feel that, and if I can feel it, then I can write something.
Now, with Spider-Man, being a part of this large tapestry of the MCU, and having characters that have inhabited other films, how does that process typically work? Are you able to just latch on to an existing theme, perhaps for that character, or do you kind of put your own spin on it when they inhabit the film that you're working on?
In terms of Spider-Man, I felt like the starting point was zero. I was treating it as if they had never made a Spider-Man movie before, and I just went, all right, what would I do with Spider-Man in terms of a main theme for him and all of that. When you're in a situation where suddenly you're dealing with something like Tony Stark, he comes in. I think it's fun to put in Alan Silvestri's Avengers theme for that moment, and I think audiences love that too. I know I do. It makes me go, I get chills when I hear that kind of a thing. And I think it's something we're working to be better at within the overall cinematic universe of the films. I think in the beginning, it was still trying to figure out, how do we make all these superhero movies? How do we do all of that? And now looking back, it goes, I think things worked really well. You can see where it works really great in a scene where you're chugging along and doing this characters, and then suddenly someone else's character comes in from somewhere else. And to hear a theme from that person, it really gets you, and you're just you're emotionally charged. So I think it is important to keep some sort of continuity there, and not to feel like we're all no, it just should be all my music. I don't want to use, I don't believe in that, and I think it's better for fans, it's better for the films, it's better for all of us if we sort of just keep it all together.